Many thanks to Job, DayZ Podcast, Taggies Tagwares, Pandemonium, Lion Loss and Lily for making this video possible. Consolidating all sniper rifle stats into these 6 categories, we're going to rank each of the sniper rifles in DayZ to statistically find the very best one. Because the sawed-off version of the Blaze and the Mosin are basically a worse version of these weapons, we won't include these firearms in our comparisons, and nor will we include the VSS regular rounds because the armor-piercing VSS is far superior. With that said, there are 8 sniper rifles in DayZ that I would consider to be sniper rifles or very much behave like sniper rifles do. Of these 8, most conclude that the SVD is the best sniper rifle in DayZ, and while it does provide great follow-up shot potential for a less punishing sniping experience, it's certainly not the best sniper rifle over long distance, and it's also not the best at close range combat either, as you'll discover later in this video. If you didn't know, bullets in flight lose damage over time in DayZ, which is a mechanic that heavily determines how useful a sniper rifle is. Comparing these 8, we can see that only the 5.27, the Pioneer and the VSS are lacking over range, with most of the sniper rifles killing players with just one shot at around 400 meters. If someone gets a jump on you in DayZ, burst damage is a very important stat to have as a sniper, but most snipers will fall flat here with only 3 shining. Now this chart displays the damage multiplied by the fire rate of a weapon, and it doesn't consider reloads, hence why the Blaze has the most burst damage here, and to my surprise, and probably yours too, the VSS has better burst damage than the SVD, even without AP rounds, which we'll get into later. For now, it wouldn't be fair to compare damage without considering the sustained damage over time, so here's a chart showing ammo capacity and reload times considered. Due to the increased mag size of the VSS at 10 rounds more than the SVD, the VSS outperforms the SVD at raiding bases and prolonged damage output, with all other snipers being roughly the same here. Combining these 3 charts together, we get ourselves a very tidy average damage chart, which is best viewed as a pie chart. The SVD and the Blaze are the same for all around damage, and bear in mind that this is the Blaze without considering the double shot, which we'll come back to later. The Savannah is in 3rd due to its 10 round magazine, and the SVD is 4th due to its lack of range damage. Speaking of which, range is quite possibly the most important stat when it comes to sniper rifles because they're sniper rifles, so like with damage, let's nerd out and look at some charts. This is a base range with no attachments at all on sniper rifles in meters, with those that zero the highest like the Mosin zeroing up to 1000 meters winning here. With their best attachments however, most now have a crazy range tied to them because sniper rifles in DayZ have close to 100% accuracy as standard, and when you put attachments on these weapons, that accuracy becomes 100%. This means that it's bullet speed and zeroing distance that mostly determines range with snipers in DayZ, hence why the Mosin is the best here because of that PU scope zeroing distance up to 1300 meters, and why the VSS is the worst because of its very slow bullet speed. In fact, the armor piercing or regular 3.9 round bullet speed is just so damn slow that the game engine deletes the VSS bullet mid-flight beyond 800 meters, so don't shoot anybody beyond 800 meters with the VSS or the ASVAL because it takes longer than 6 seconds for it to get there, and all projectiles get deleted after 6 seconds. Also, the VSS cannot achieve 100% accuracy like the rest of the sniper rifles here. Onto another chart, and this one displays the effectiveness of a sniper rifle over range against moving targets, which is also a very important stat, with the slow bullet speed weapons again suffering, so the VSS again suffers in this case. Combining these 3 charts together gives us a good idea of which snipers are best at range, with the Mosin flexing its zeroing distance advantage over the other weapons here. The Mosin as standard zeros to 1000 meters, and with the PU scope it's 1300, so zeroing distance is a huge determining factor in how good a weapon is at range when it comes to sniper rifles. Moving on to a stat that isn't so important for sniper rifles, it's control, which is basically recoil multiplied by the rate of fire of the weapon. The SVD is the worst as you can see, and the Savannah is the worst among the lower RPM sniper rifles due to its massive kick. The reason I haven't included sway in these calculations for control is because holding your breath negates sway completely. Of these 8, there's only one weapon that doesn't allow a suppressor, and can you guess which one it is? It's, yes, the Blaze, giving it the worst score here as you can see. The VSS is obviously the best because it's built with a suppressor, so it's the king of stealth. The Pioneer can be heard up to 2600 meters away instead of 3400 meters away like the other weapons here, and the reason the 5.27 is ranked here is because of its low bullet speed, giving it a weapon crack distance that's lower than the others. This chart simply displays the size of a weapon in slots times its weight times its length. The longer a weapon is, the sooner it will raise in CQB situations. So the SVD and the Mosin are the worst for tight spaces, and the Blaze is the best because the Blaze is only 85 centimeters compared to the Mosin that's 122 centimeters. The final area to compare these snipers is how likely you are to find one in DayZ, and to my surprise, 60 Mosins can be found on one server at any one time, making it much more accessible than any other weapon here. And to my surprise also, the Pioneer is 3 times rarer than the SVD. The best sniper rifle in DayZ is very much determined by the range you're shooting your target at, so like any other weapon or anything else in DayZ actually, it's situation based. The best sniper rifle is going to be based on your situation. For very close encounters, the VSS with its armor piercing rounds outputs the highest damage per second against armored targets, but against unarmored targets the SVD is the best as it can one-shot up to 350 meters away. Now I would personally prefer to use the VSS with its 20 round mag than the SVD in close quarters because the VSS is much easier to control compared, even allowing for a quick 3-shot burst on players up to 40 meters away without even having to adjust your aim. Beyond 40 meters, several assault rifles are better than the SVD, but there's no denying how good and all-arounder the SVD is. This weapon just feels right and is very noob friendly, best being used at mid-range combat as a DMR I believe. Statistically, the SVD is not the best right up close for damage, and it's not the best over range either. However, when you combine the damage and the range charts from earlier, the SVD statistically becomes the best, which isn't what I said at the start of this video. This is because the Blaze double shot needs to be considered, and in doing so, the damage output of the Blaze absolutely dominates the other sniper rifles. So considering the double shot, here is the damage and the range performance chart again. The Blaze wins, and as far as I'm concerned, statistically, the Blaze is the best sniper rifle in DayZ. With the double shot fire mode selected, the Blaze becomes a monster on the damage drop-off chart, forcing me to redesign this chart just to fit it on. There's obviously no competition here. However, in patch 1.18 the accuracy of the double shot Blaze was reduced, and I wouldn't recommend using the double shot beyond around 500 meters, even if you have the hunting optic attached. This means over distance the Blaze is best up to 500 meters, then the Savannah and the Tundra is best up to 900 meters, and beyond that the Mosin is best. So like I said earlier, the situation calls for which one is best. Now if I had to choose one, it would certainly be the Blaze. The Blaze is statistically the best sniper rifle in DayZ, but the SVD is a very close second. If we compare only the bolt action weapons, you can't go wrong with either the Tundra, Savannah or the Mosin, but statistically the Mosin is a better bolt action sniper. As you can see in this chart, which ranks all snipers based on all of the stats that you've seen in this video, the Mosin has a lot of benefits to using it. Like in my best assault rifles video, which is very similar to this video, I'd recommend the damage and range chart for the best sniper rifle in DayZ, along with the double shot damage drop-off chart for ranged combat. If you want to learn more about which assault rifle is best, which I'd highly recommend checking out if you like this video, check out this video. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.